Hi, I am Yartami. Welcome to my video. So let's start. Imagine a website that started in a small home office with a tiny team. Today, it processes over $5 billion in payments every single year. It has more than 2 million creators and over 200 million users. Most people know it for its controversy, but from a financial perspective, it is one of the most efficient business models ever created. It is the story of a system that removed the middleman and changed how people trade attention for money. This is the story of OnlyFans. In 2016, a British businessman named Tim Stokely had a simple idea. At the time, social media was already giant. Platforms like Instagram and Twitter were everywhere. But there was a major problem for the people making the content. The platforms were making all the money from ads, but the creators were getting almost nothing. Tim wanted to build a paywall for individuals. If you wanted to see someone's special photos or videos, you had to pay a monthly subscription. It was a very simple concept. Just like Phil Knight and his crazy idea for running shoes, Tim had a vision for a new kind of internet economy. He didn't have a giant office or thousands of employees at the start. He had a small loan from his father and a clear rule for his business. The creator would keep 80% of the money and the platform would keep 20%. This is what we call a commission model. It was very different from traditional media companies that might take 50 or 60% of a person's earnings. By giving more power and money to the creators, the platform began to grow incredibly fast. In the beginning, OnlyFans tried to attract all kinds of creators. They looked for fitness trainers, chefs, and musicians. They wanted to be the place where any expert could charge for their knowledge. Just like a dropshipper chooses a niche to find a market, OnlyFans was looking for its perfect audience. They found it in a way they didn't exactly plan. The adult industry saw the platform as a sanctuary. For many years, creators in that industry were treated poorly by big corporations. OnlyFans gave them a way to own their own business and keep most of their earnings. It gave them full control over their own production. By 2018, the platform was growing, but it needed to scale up. An entrepreneur named Leo Radvinsky bought a majority stake in the company. He understood the mindset of digital growth. He knew that in the world of software, once you have a working system, adding 1 million more users costs almost nothing. This is a high-margin business. Nearly every extra dollar earned is pure profit, because there are no physical products to ship or shoes to manufacture. Then, the world changed in 2020. Just as a jogging boom once made Nike a household name, the global lockdowns made digital content the only way for people to connect. Millions of people were stuck at home. Many lost their jobs and needed a new way to earn money. OnlyFans became a global phenomenon. In just 1 year, the amount of money flowing through the site jumped from a few hundred million to over $2 billion. It was a digital gold rush. To become truly mainstream, the platform needed big names. Just like Nike signed Michael Jordan to prove they were the best in the world, OnlyFans began to see massive celebrities join the site. When famous actresses and musicians started making millions of dollars in a single day, the financial world stopped and took notice. It wasn't just a small website anymore. It was a multi-billion-dollar empire that was disrupting the entire entertainment industry. But with massive growth comes massive trouble. In August 2021, OnlyFans faced its biggest nightmare. It was a moment that almost ended the company forever. Just like Nike was targeted by the government with a $25 million tax bill, OnlyFans was targeted by the global banking system. Major banks were worried about the type of content being sold on the site. They threatened to stop processing all payments. Without the ability to take credit cards, the site would die in a matter of days. The company made a shocking announcement. They said they would ban the content that made them famous to satisfy the banks. The creators felt betrayed. They felt like the company was stabbing them in the back, just like a supplier might leave a partner for a better deal. But after a few days of intense pressure and a massive backlash from their users, OnlyFans did something very bold. They stood their ground. They worked out a way to improve their safety systems and convinced the banks to stay. They reversed the ban and kept their business model alive. This legal and financial battle showed how much power the platform actually had. They had built a community that was too big for the banks to ignore. Today, the numbers are staggering. The company makes hundreds of millions of dollars in net profit every year with a relatively small team of employees. They don't have the high costs of a traditional business. They don't have factories or warehouses. They simply provide the software and the payment system. The rise of OnlyFans teaches us a lot about modern finance and the power of the internet. It shows that the system is changing. In the past, you needed a giant company to reach a global audience. Today, you just need a phone and a platform that lets you connect with your fans. It is a bottom-up strategy. By focusing on the individual creator, OnlyFans built a network that is almost impossible to break. The company's success comes from a simple mindset: reinvest in the system and keep the fees low for the users. They created a digital marketplace where people can turn their own personality into a business. Even though the platform remains very controversial, its financial success is undeniable. They have reached a level of profitability that most tech companies can only dream of. When we look back at the history of big brands, we see that they all had to face crises and controversy. Nike had to deal with labor scandals and legal fights. OnlyFans has to deal with reputation issues and banking pressure. But in both cases, the companies that survive are the ones that focus on their core mission. For OnlyFans, that mission is allowing creators to get paid directly by their fans. So, what is the lesson here? It is that the timing is never perfect, and the path to success is rarely a straight line. Tim Stokely took a simple idea and a small loan and turned it into a billion-dollar reality. He found a gap in the market and used technology to fill it. He proved that even a controversial idea can change the world if it offers a better way for people to make a living. The creator economy is still in its early stages. Every day, more people are leaving traditional jobs to start their own digital businesses. OnlyFans was one of the first platforms to show how much money is really out there for people who can build a loyal following. Whether you agree with the content or not, the financial system they built is a masterpiece of efficiency. In the end, OnlyFans is a story about the power of the individual. It is about a system that rewards the person making the content instead of the giant corporation hosting it. It is a reminder that in the modern world, the most valuable thing you can own is your own audience. Just like the founders of Nike, the people behind OnlyFans took a leap of faith. They didn't wait for permission, they just did it. And by doing so, they built one of the most successful and talked about companies of the 21st century. Note on sources: while the narrative structure, business concepts such as the 80-20 commission model, the flywheel of growth, and overcoming banking regulatory hurdles, and storytelling DNA of this script are directly inspired by the provided transcripts for Nike and AI dropshipping. The specific historical facts regarding OnlyFans, such as Tim Stokely, the 2021 banking crisis, and celebrity involvement, are based on information outside of the provided sources. I have integrated these facts into the structural framework of the sources to meet your request.